Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Today's video will be a an extended weekend reading, focusing on the energy surrounding us on the weekend of May 4th through the 6th, 2018. For the reading, I'll be pulling 3 cards from the Sun and Moon Tarot deck, as well as 1 additional card from the bottom of the deck for the overall energy for the weekend. And I will also pick an Earth Magic Oracle card from the Earth Magic deck by Stephen D. Farmer. Just a quick reminder, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate with you. The only way to get a truly personalized reading would be to order a private reading from me. If you're interested, you could take a look at my site, changingphasestarot.weebly.com. There you'll find information about the types of readings that I offer, as well as prices. Or you could email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. Right, so let's get started. I have already been shuffling and meditated off camera, but I'll give the deck a few more shuffles. So Spirit, what are the energies surrounding us on the weekend of May 4th through the 6th? What do we need to know? What are the messages for the weekend of May 4th through the 6th? What do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us on the weekend of May 4th through the 6th? Okay, 1 came out already. What are the messages for the weekend of May 4th through the 6th? Shuffle. And we will divide the deck into 3. All right, so the card that came out is Major Arcana number 6, the Lovers, sitting in the past position, followed by the Wheel of Fortune, Major Arcana number 10, and in the future position, 9 of Pentacles. Okay, well, I'm liking this reading already. And the card at the bottom of the deck, whoa, we have Major Arcana number 13, Death, Rebirth. So out of 4 cards, we have 3 Major Arcanas and 1 9 of Pentacles. Interesting. All right, so 1 additional card from the Earth Magic Oracle card deck. So Spirit, what additional message do you have for the weekend of May 4th through the 6th, 2018? 1 additional message. Okay, that one flipped over. So we will take that one. Beautiful. Lotus flower, unfoldment. We have this beautiful sort of pinkish lilac lotus flower, and then beautiful blues of the sky, and we have the sun peeking out from behind the clouds there. All right, so, wow, where to begin? Let's start off here in the past position with the Lovers card. So the Major Arcana, the Lovers, it can mean a couple of different things. Obviously, you know, looking at it from a more romantic point of view, yes, it can represent the, you know, that soulmate connection, that deep, you know, soul connection with another person. This sits in the past position, so there could have been, you know, some type of relationship beginning in the past. Sometimes this has to do with taking the relationship to the next level with that person, possibly marriage, engagement, moving in together. For others, this can be, you know, just a very significant relationship, you know, that one of those relationships that are very important in our lives for personal growth, you know, for spiritual growth, development. Because when we think of those soul connections, many times that soulmate connection with another person, you know, and like I've mentioned before in my videos, we can have soul connections with more than one person. Obviously, throughout our lives, we can have people who turn up as soulmates, but are, in the form of friends, mentors. Yes, they can be lovers. But there are people who, we have a past sort of connection with them. We have a possibly, something that we need to teach them or that we need to learn from them. So there could be a significant, beginning in the past, a significant relationship with another individual. In this particular deck, they have, I love this deck. They have this in sort of, let me hold it up so you can see it. Kind of represents like the duality, the yin yang. You see, we have there's the white woman, the black man here, and says sort of yin yang. They balance each other out. This opposing energy as well is sort of referenced also in this deck. But it's a very deep connection with another person. Another meaning for the lovers is a significant decision that needs to be made. So this was in the past. So for some of you, that could have been an important decision, sort of a head or heart decision. If when this comes up, it's usually about sort of following your heart, doing that which your heart kind of tells you that you should do. So it's a very powerful card as well. Talks of the power of relationships. Also, the Lover's card is number 6 in the tarot. It speaks of balance, right? It says sort of, so in this case, it's that, the balanced relationship, that seeing yourself in the other person. The other person is kind of your mirror image. So there's a sense of balance as well. So with this coming in the past, there could have been an important decision that was made in the recent past. There could have been, as you're heading into this weekend, there could have been starting up an important relationship with another person. But, what sits here at the center is this Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is, it's 10 of the major arcana. And 10s in the tarot are significant endings and new beginnings. And especially with this being, a major arcana card, this is all about, one cycle ending in your life and a new one beginning. So if we think about the Lover's card, if this has to do with, like I was saying about getting married or getting engaged, then obviously that would be one cycle in your life ending. You as a single person, right? And versus you moving in with a person, you becoming married. So you're beginning a brand new phase with that, the other person. The Wheel of Fortune can also have to do with ending, like it could be in the workplace as well. So it has to do with prosperity. It has to do with destiny. It's a very karmic card, right? So this is sort of about the cycles of life. So one cycle ending, another one beginning, and it has to do with as well, it's not always that things are going to be, positive and everything going well in our lives. Unfortunately or fortunately, sometimes we're on the downswing, but it's many times in the downswing, right, when things are difficult, that we learn a lot of lessons. And now this is sort of the karmic wheel turning, and fate sort of putting new things in front of you. So new opportunities coming in, new chances, right? New chances that will give your life this positive turn. So it's all about changes and the wheel turning, but turning in your favor now. So a change in luck. Again, the cycles, one cycle ending, another one beginning. But very much, sort of destined, something that is destined, and if there are new opportunities coming in, then this is, these are very important, very significant opportunities appearing in your life. And then we have in the future position, as we head out of the weekend into next week, the Nine of Pentacles. And in this deck, it's called Gain. And the Nine of Pentacles, or the suit of Pentacles, deals with the material realm. It's everything here that we can touch and feel, and has to do with the work that we do, the money we earn. It's our home, our family, material possessions, material prosperity. And the nine is it's a very good card. It's a very stable, it's sort of stable energy. You've worked hard to get to this point. Usually we think of the Nine of Pentacles as being the kind of the self-sufficient card. You've worked long and hard to get to where you are, and so you kind of have the type of life that you always envisioned for yourself. Whatever that might mean for you. But it's you feeling financially secure, things sort of going your way. And like I said, in this deck, it's actually called Gain is the name of the card. So for some of you, that could be some type of material gain actually coming in towards the end of the weekend as you head into next week. Definite improvements, right? Improvements in finances, improvements in also emotional, there could be some type of tangible gain as far as your relationships go. Could be some type of completion, material success, but that material success that, that comes from hard work and discipline and really, being persistent, determined, and now you're actually seeing, you see that the man here, he has the sunflowers, so they've grown. He's been able to pick the sunflowers, so that he's actually seeing the results of his hard labor. So there's some type of tangible gain, whether this is in finances or at work, or could be in the form of extra money, promotion, a pay raise, or in the area of relationships, some type of gain. For those of you who, if it is taking the relationship to the next level, then there could be a gain, moving from one level to the next, getting engaged, moving in together, getting married. So there's some type of gain as well happening over the weekend. And then as the overall energy here, we have the, card number 13 of the Major Arcana, which is Death. In this deck, it's called Death Rebirth, and I love let me show you it again. I love the depiction of the Death card in this, because it's all about the rebirth, right? And we know that with death, through death comes new life, right? And if we think of cycles in life with this Wheel of Fortune, it's impossible for you to begin a new cycle and have that new, this new thing coming in unless you first let go of the old. So this Death card is very much about, letting go. It's about detachment, release. Can be letting go of, certain aspects of yourself, right? That maybe an old way of thinking or an old way of behaving. That sort of patterns of behavior within a relationship, or if this is, within the workplace, maybe there's a certain way that you've been behaving that hasn't, helped you much in the past. So it's, letting go of that. It can also be about death of, a certain part of yourself, in order to become, the person. And again, with this Wheel of Fortune sitting at the center here, there could be something that, that there's this change coming in, this new opportunity. It could be something quite, quite spectacular, quite different maybe than what you have done in the past. If it's in the workplace, or, new opportunities coming in that are quite a change for you. It's about embracing that, releasing, the old in order to sort of become who you're really meant to be here. Obviously, we have, the Phoenix on the card, which is a symbol of being reborn, right? Transformation, growth, change, renewal. The Phoenix itself, it's reborn from its own ashes. So, change is the main concept that goes along with the Death card, but it's, release as well. And I think with the, looking at the other cards that we have for the weekend, it could be some type of release from, I'm getting more sort of thinking, really, this old way of thinking, and then lots of change coming in. Obviously, this is going to play out differently for, for you, different people watching. So for some of you, it could definitely be in the area of relationships, and, maybe one significant ending, but then a gain, a new beginning, and then, this change. Obviously, if you are taking the relationship to the next level, there is a significant change. The old you is dying. You're being reborn as, as this unit now, as this soul couple. For others, this could be in the workplace. There could have been a head or heart decision that was made in the past, which has brought about these new, opportunities and, things, the wheel of fortune here turning and fate going in your favor. And then there's significant gain, whether this is through money coming in, pay raise, a promotion, right? But definite change going on, but change for the better. And then we have this lotus flower. Let me read you. I like to read from the guidebook for the oracle card to give you the full meaning for the card. Let me find it. Lotus flower says, here we go. So it's called unfoldment. Let me read you sort of the main message, and then because it's quite long here, I might leave out a part of it. So it says, your spiritual unfoldment is occurring at times whether or not you are aware of it. I'm sorry, it's occurring at all times whether or not you're aware of it. It is inevitable as long as you put your trust in the hands of the Creator, the one who holds the light. Like the lotus, your soul is always reaching for the light to fulfill its karmic destiny. But even in that process, there are periods of darkness and times to rest. It is a natural cycle. And this ties in perfectly with the Wheel of Fortune and the Death and Rebirth card. I'm sorry, I don't think you can see that. There we go. That's better. Now you can see all of them. Sorry about that. It has an innate rhythm of its own, one that is unique to the being that is you. You do not need to strive or be driven by spiritual ambition. It does no good to try to force growth upon oneself, or others for that matter. Allowing is the key here. Allow the place in you that naturally wants to follow the light to do so, while recognizing that even when you have complete faith, you will face challenges and occasionally suffering. Your steady faith and love will guide you on your journey of returning to the light. And then it just, it goes on to talk about the lotus flower itself. For those of you who maybe are not familiar with, the lotus flower, it's very unique because, the plant is actually rooted down in the mud and the muck at the bottom of the body of water. But it says that its stem reaches up to the surface where the leaves rest quietly. At night, the flower closes and sinks below the surface, only to rise with the daylight and once again gradually unfold its petals, its stem extending above the waterline 3 feet or more. What we learn from this amazing plant is how our own spiritual path unfolds and opens to the light, then at times gently folds in on itself for a proper rest when the daylight fades. This period is just as necessary as the growth, for it allows the plant to integrate what it has gained in nourishment during the day. It's also just as important that it is rooted, and that it is yet another miracle of nature that something so exquisitely beautiful is formed from the mud and silt at the water's bottom. And I think that this really does tie in beautifully with the messages of, the change, right? The unfolding, the cycles. It's, and these cycles are necessary. Just like I was talking about with the Wheel of Fortune, that, even though when we're on the downswing of the Wheel of Fortune, it can be at times painful, and, those experiences are important for our spiritual growth. It's many times in those very difficult situations that we learn the most, that we grow the most, that we are able to afterwards see this beautiful development and gain, right? And then obviously we have this death and rebirth card, and cycles and rebirth and release. So I think that this lotus flower ties in beautifully with the reading. So I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way. I thank you for joining me here today. I look forward to reading for you again, and just know that I'm sending you all much peace, love, and light for a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.